Hey guys, so today we're gonna be talking about a Clash Royale player named Mohamed Light. I'm like pretty sure, if not like one of the best players of Clash Royale. He's a pro, obviously, and I'm low-key disappointed because why would he do that, bruh? Like, are you dead ass? You just had to do that. You couldn't be chill. But yeah, very disappointed. We're gonna go over the document that these people released, and I'm just gonna read it, and yeah, I guess you guys will know. Okay guys, so this is the tweet. It was written by Nate and Matt, and I have no idea how to say that. But yeah, let's read it, I guess. I like how everything is called the files now when someone gets exposed because of Epstein. Okay, they have a disclaimer. All screenshots, evidence, and information presented in this document are, to the best of our knowledge, accurate and truthful at the time of publication. We have made every effort to ensure the integrity of the content shared here. And so we got the introduction. Mohammed, also known as Mohamed Light, is a 21-year-old Egyptian professional Clash Royale player whose dominance and competitive achievements have earned him the admiration of countless fans worldwide. Many are only aware of his skill and gameplay, yet very few know what goes on behind the scenes. For years, serious allegations of grooming and misconduct have circulated throughout the Clash Royale scene, yet they were frequently dismissed as baseless because the relevant evidence was carefully obfuscated from the public. This lack of transparency allowed a narrative to persist where accusations seemed like baseless rumors, primarily because Light selectively hid incriminating information from his closest friends. Our goal in this document is to break the mold of speculation by providing concrete evidence that has been missing for years. We intend to explain the origins of these controversies, show the community the truth that has been hidden beneath the surface, and hold Mohamed Light accountable for his actions that have remained in the dark for far too long. Okay, now we got about the victim. For privacy, we will refer to the victim as H, and her name will be redacted in all screenshots used. That's nice. H is currently a 17-year-old girl who first met Light when she was roughly 13 years of age, him being 17 at the time. Despite their 4-year age gap, the two became close friends over the years, something that drew online speculation, particularly given that the two were known to spend long hours together in private calls. However, H has consistently stated that she never had any romantic feelings for Light, nor attempted to lead him on in any way. These accusations had largely died down over time as no concrete evidence of misconduct had even surfaced to support them. Um, Now we got about the authors. We are a group of 3 individuals who are all friends with H and have held long-standing concerns about Light's behavior towards her. Our primary concern is H's well-being, and it is what has driven us to put this document together. We wish to show the public the injustice Light has done as of recent times, as well as raise awareness towards the kind of person many Clash Royale players and content creators have presented unanimous and unwavering support towards all these years. We are not the only people aware of this situation. Many of Light and H's mutual friends have known about these events for quite some time now, but have had to stay silent. This is this is to no fault of their own, as all of them possess conflicting interests, professional relations with Light that prevent them from speaking out. That's kind of interesting, but I kind of get it. As for us three, we have remained silent for this long purely out of respect for H's wishes. Despite everything, H and Light share a close bond, and she has asked us on multiple occasions to stay quiet, not wanting to see things end badly for someone she considers her best friend. We have honored this request until now, however, recent events have made it impossible for us to continue standing by while Light faces no accountability for his own actions. This is no longer something we are able to stay quiet about in good conscience. H and Light's friendship, while outwardly normal for years, began to shift in 2025. The following sections detail the progression of events that brought us to where we are today. November 2025 CRL. Prior to the 2025 CRL Clash Royale League World Finals, both H and Light were planning on attending the DreamHack event in Atlanta, Georgia. Light was attending as a world finalist, and H wished to go visit and meet her friends for the first time. It should be known that, contrary to some rumors, Light did not fly H out to the event, nor did they share any rooms together. H then reached out to her and Light's mutual friends for support on the matter, and what she discovered was deeply troubling. Rather than being honest about what was happening, Light had spent over a year actively constructing a false version of events to present to his inner circle. See screenshots below. One in which H was the one who had pursued him romantically and he was the one who did not reciprocate. This was a deliberate inversion of the truth, and it held for as long as it did because H, out of respect for their friendship, never dared to contradict it. When confronted by friends about the messages he had sent her, Light selectively hid the most incriminating ones, only revealing them under pressure. Even then, he had left out key messages entirely, including one in which he expressed that traveling to the US would be worth it, specifically because H would be there. His friends, including those close both to him and H, had believed his version of events for a year before the truth came to light. It was also during this period, in the lead up to the Atlanta event, that Light confessed his romantic feelings to H directly over private messages. She rejected him. He accepted it, and then he told me he didn't want to talk anymore because it hurts too bad, and then a few days later, shit was back to normal. And then he started saying flirty shit. I told him it made me uncomfortable. He stopped for a bit, started again. Dude, frick, I always thought it's the opposite. You flirting and him not giving traction. Oh, that's not what happened. That's crazy. The way he told everything never showed that was the case. I never flirted with him. I never seen him that way. That screenshot was H talking to a mutual friend, Game Z Saver, Light's coach, about how Light would flirt with her and how she never saw him in any romantic way. The friend had believed prior that the roles were reversed on who liked who. Okay guys, so I had to put on my glasses because I literally can't fucking see shit, but these two screenshots I'm about to read is a discussion between her, the blue text, and a different mutual friend, which is the gray text, about how Light would flirt with her and how Light will give dishonest stories about his experience with H, leaving truthful things out of the equation, including the Discord messages sent to her above. Okay. I saw one where it was like, hopefully next one in USA cause you're there, something like that, but I didn't know that behavior was frequent, I guess. I kinda considered it harassment from like 2 to 3 messages that got ignored. Damn. It got frequent nearing in Atlanta like the 1 to 2 weeks before. Really? Was it just stuff like that? Yeah. What he said before? Like, I can't wait to meet you, and he would emphasize it. And he would randomly call me pretty. Then he's trying to explain stuff to me, and then I hear this, and it seems like he basically had half lied about enduring, lol, everything. Enduring what? LOL. I meant everything, not enduring. Oh. Does he want to portray himself better or something? I'm not even sure. He was embarrassed to show the USA message and then just conveniently left all this out. He said things like that quite a bit, which is just frustrating hearing, which is just frustrating because he said he was done lying. I never really discussed this with anyone, so I don't know how to feel. Yeah, I see. Damn, he left all of this out. The explanations. Broken heart emoji. But he always kind of liked that. He didn't show the one thing as well. LMAO told me he framed it like I was the one flirting with him. The thing about the USA would be nice because you're there, he kept it out. And he was not receptive. And then we pressed him to show, and then he showed it. I don't feel like looking for the specific messages, but he would be like expressing desire to meet me specifically, And I felt that was kinda off, 'cause, like, a bunch of his friends were going too. Hmm. And that screenshot was another discussion with the same friend about how Light would depict the scenario as H flirting with him and how he would hide the truth to his friends and have all of them believing it was a different story entirely. And then this is Riley. This is like another pro Clash Royale player. Yeah, you are literally harassing her, so just let go. The screenshot is Riley, Light's best friend, directly telling Light in DMs to quit harassing her. Okay, now we got post November 2025. At the World Finals itself, little contact was made between them as she was reluctant to spend time with him given his behavior towards her in the months prior. Following the event, H cut off contact with Lei, having been advised by her close friends to do so. After roughly a month, December 2025, the two reconciled and resumed their friendship on relatively normal terms. Things remained quiet until a separate controversy emerged on Twitter stemming from the Heisenberg win trading allegations. As that scandal gained traction online, older grooming allegations against Lei had began resurfacing and circulating widely. Allegations of grooming and predatory behavior surged, though prior to the release of this document, no concrete evidence had been made public. Light's response was to aggressively block anyone that interacted with either the win trading or pedophilia allegations. Not only that, he lashed out at H herself, blaming her directly for confiding in her friends about his behavior, which he believed contributed to the resurgence of these allegations. Um, don't do anything for me. I don't need it. I will be doing shit if necessary. You already frick things up leaking shit about me to bums. I don't need your damn help in anything. Go and leak more shit. Fuck is wrong with you? Honestly, just disappointment after disappointment. This screenshot is Light cussing out H, blaming her for the entire situation. H specifies that she would be willing to stick up for him and deny the accusations made in an effort to save him, with Light blaming her and calling her a disappointment for telling her friends about the things he would say to her. This was despite H having previously offered to defend him publicly in an effort to protect him. This can be seen in her statement, "I will be doing shit if necessary." Additionally, H had confided to one of the authors privately that she would be willing to say she faked it all for attention if the truth comes out, rather than showing any gratitude or remorse. Light called her a disappointment for confiding in the people closest to her. Okay, now we got the conclusion. The evidence presented in this document paints a clear picture of a pattern of behavior that has gone unaddressed for far too long. Mohamed Light is not simply someone who developed feelings for a friend, he is someone who pursued a minor persistently after being told his behavior was unwanted, fabricated a false narrative to his closest friends to protect his reputation, sent unsolicited gifts as a means of establishing emotional leverage, and when faced with the consequences of his own actions, turned on the very person he claimed to care about, calling her a disappointment for confiding in her friends about what he had done to her. H did not ask for any of this. She spent years navigating an increasingly uncomfortable dynamic while simultaneously protecting the person responsible for it. Now we got a note to readers. To the competitive scene and the wider Clash Royale community, you have supported Mohamed Light as a competitor and as a public figure for years. You deserve to know who you have been supporting. The achievements and accolades are a testament to his Clash Royale skill, but they do not excuse his unacceptable behavior as a person and human being, and they should not shield him from accountability. A note to Supercell. To Supercell, this document constitutes a call for action. The behavior documented here is as follows. Persistent romantic pursuit and emotional harassment of a minor continuing after she explicitly and repeatedly communicated her discomfort. Grooming, including the sustained sending of unsolicited gifts as a means of establishing emotional dependency. using power and status to exploit a significant age gap and power dynamic, retaliating against the victims when retali- retaliating against the victim when she spoke out, including direct verbal abuse, showing a lack of remorse and accountability. These behaviors stand in direct contradiction to Supercell's core values and community standards. It is the author's firm belief that an individual with a documented history of grooming and harassment towards a minor has no place representing the face of competitive Clash Royale. Okay, now we got a final note. This document deliberately omits several other allegations that have circulated publicly regarding Mohammed Late, including but not limited to win trading, romantic infidelity, and unsportsmanlike conduct at CRL. This was a conscious decision in the case of win trading. Sufficient information is already publicly available for those who wish to draw their own conclusions. In the case of other allegations, the authors determined that publishing them would require exposing the personal affairs of uninvolved parties, which is something we are not willing to do. Finally, with regards to unsportsmanlike competitive behavior, insufficient evidence is available to substantiate these claims to the standard this document holds itself to. The sole purpose of this document is to ensure that Mohammed Lay faces accountability for his treatment of H. We have confined ourselves strictly to revealing solely what we believe the public has a right to know. Okay, now we got the author's notes. Disclaimer: the following subsections, personal statements, represent the personal opinions and individual statements of each author. They are offered as additional context and should be read as such, not as evidentiary claims, but as the perspective of those with high involvement in this situation. Author 1, Matt. I have known H for close to 4 years. We grew up practically close towards the end of 2024, and for a period of time, she was my closest friend. I first learned about this situation in November 2025 during a private heart to heart conversation with H. My immediate reaction was one of pure disgust, but I chose not to act because H explicitly urged me to stay silent. At the time, she still considered Mo her best friend and was not ready for the public fallout that would follow. I honored her request for the past 7 months because her well-being was primarily my concern above all else. She still held a soft spot for Mo and asked me on multiple occasions to stay quiet because she didn't want to see things unravel for him. I also knew how much the existing online rumors already affected her. To people who post pictures of her face online and make up stories about her, frick you, you're disgusting. And I refused to be the one to open up a can of worms that would force her to endure even more public scrutiny before she was ready. She's still a child and I wanted to be as considerate as possible. I have known her for so long. I care for her like a sister, and her emotional safety meant more to me than satisfying my own desire for immediate justice. However, my stance changed in June 2026, seeing Mo lash out at her with verbal abuse, calling her disappointment and something else, even as she was willing to take the full fall to protect him, made it impossible for me to just stand there and watch. Before all this, I thought of Mo the way most people in this community do. He was the golden boy of Clash Royale. We weren't that close, but we were close enough to consider each other friends. I even spent time with him in person at the 2025 World Finals. I had no reason to think poorly of him. To Mo, how could you? I could never imagine myself doing this to any girl, much less H, one of the sweetest and most kind-hearted people I know. I'm disgusted with you and your actions, and I hope you get what you deserve. To H, I think you already know everything I want to say to you. I hope things go well for you from here on out. To the Clash Royale community, I would like to apologize for the delay in the release of this document. Releasing something of this magnitude required us to consider consider several factors that were not easy to balance. unblurring the names in this document, choosing to reveal ourselves as authors, and whether or not we would release the files at all were all the choices we had to weigh very carefully, as these choices would affect the careers and lives of many people who I am extremely close to. Me, Atro, and Nate have worked very hard on this document, and we are grateful for your prolonged patience. This community has no place for someone like Mohamed Lay. I hope that justice will be served. Now we got author 2, Atro. It really does disappoint me that someone like Lay has been the face of the game for so long. On the surface, he seems like a modest and humble individual, hence why many have been a fan of him for years. Yet while hearing more and more about what he's done to those closest to him, things that we haven't gotten into in this document as we don't have the firepower to really expose him for it, I just get disappointed that such an individual is perceived so positively. He is no one off to the people he chooses to associate with. Being friends with the girl mentioned in this document for around 5 years, it would be disgusting if someone like Muhammad continued to be praised by content creators and the general public the same way that he has been. I think it's unfair to all of you not to know this information, as I doubt people would support Light if this information was publicized earlier. The most you all had ever heard was proofless accusations from shadier individuals in the community, and while they aren't the best people, what they have mentioned for years relating to grooming didn't stem from nothing. Though their claims are alienated from the truth, I don't think anyone should be bulletproof or unable to be faced with their actions. And he's only gotten away with what he's done because his friends have all elected to remain silent. Though I don't believe everyone will completely turn on him as a result of this document, I hope that this will at least inform everyone the kind of person they are choosing to support if they continue to do so. I've spoken to several of his friends, many of which are disgusted by him and have expressed their great distaste for what he has done in the past. Mentions of the fake friends Light made and his abysmal failure of a PR message, see appendix, stem from him thinking he's in the right despite all the ways he's hurt them. There is never a good reason to emotionally manipulate your friends. Though I am friends with Nate, I had nothing to do with their recent drama, and although I do believe it could have been handled much better from both sides, I'm glad that it happened as it uncovered a lot of tension behind the scenes. I've never spoken to Light myself and have no personal heat with him other than the skepticism I've accrued towards him as a person over the years, especially relating to his friendship with H. Seeing Light guilt trip her as shown above preceding the latest drama was my final straw, as I find it more than insane to blame her for reaching out to her friends about his harassment towards her, and to blame her for his mistakes in general. I felt awful hearing her tell me that she feels this whole situation is her fault, and that she's even willing to defend him as if it's her responsibility to do so. Reading his now deleted PR message and seeing how he perceives his friends, competitors, and even ex-girlfriend has only told me that he is not the humble man you have all seen on the surface, but rather a highly self-centered individual that believes the world revolves around him. Him painting himself as the victim in all of this, saying things like seeing people's true colors when he's shown nothing but his monochrome self to the world, and who he truly is only to those who have called him their friend, and to always stay humble, as if he isn't the malefactor behind the recent conflicts with all of his friends, reveals to me and hopefully all of you his real identity that he hides. It's truly heartbreaking he's developed such a loyal fan base. I appreciate anyone who took the time to read this all, and may this message serve as a word of advice to never take anyone for who they are at face value, for whoever you choose to speak to in life. Justice for the girl and for the real GOAT of this game, Lucas X Gamer. Okay, now we have author 3, which is Nate. I met H around the same time as Muhammad Light, so for around 5 years, I only started to hear rumors of such accusations around 2023 to 2024, but I never believed them as Mo always seemed innocent and it would be hard to believe he would be capable of such things. I learned about who he really was at the start of 2026 and what he had done a few months ago, his true character in a way. This does not excuse me for what I've said to him regarding the beef we had about the wind trade, but this goes way beyond that at this point. Mohammed was never like this towards me from the time we were friends, so it was hard to believe during the time he would act like this. He has done a lot for me, no doubt, and I will be grateful for that, but that does not mean I will be a yes man, do whatever he wants. No one has a god complex. You are not untouchable. It's time to learn what the consequences are for your actions. I know by me speaking out, maybe people will dissociate themselves from me, but that doesn't matter. No matter how accomplished Mo may be, it does not excuse his behavior recently or how he called these allegations BS or fabric. For those who did know what he did way before I did, how could you? I will admit it was a tough pill for me to swallow considering all the talks/memories I've had with Mo, but it begs the question, how could someone like Mo become what I thought would never be possible? I had truly planned to drop this entirely after making my tweet, apologizing and trying to move on, making a video for my own closure, but unfortunately that did not happen. You tried to guilt trip H after trying to guilt trip me, and it worked on my end. H is still a minor to this day, and she doesn't know what's right or wrong. The fact she was willing to defend you still after what you did to her and you call her yourself humble. At the end of the day, you chose to lash out at me, say all those vulgar things to me because of bad influences that I tried to call out and help you. And instead you tried to downplay our friendship, calling me a fake MF, never be friends again, saying that I'm jealous of you and only talk to you because you were a good player, a shit friend, and calling out my character/personality in general when you know I only wanted the best for you. I still wish at the end of this day things could have been handled better, but why should I feel remorse after what you told me in DMs and probably the amount of ungodly shit you talked to others behind my back because I reported you for win trading and you wanted me to be your yes man in Slack chat, lol. And then we got a screenshot. No one buys likes like you dummy. No one asked for you to reply. Thanks for your boyfriend. I have no idea how to say that for this. Anyway, on everything that I love, nobody is telling me what to say. He wanted to take shots at me for being. I have no idea what the hell he meant. Yeah, sure, I know you. This is all me. You would never reply to this. You unfollowed me as well. Yeah, I don't believe you. Sure, some vocab from highs, but nobody influences what I'm saying. You told me on everything I love, nobody is telling me what to say, yet in your deleted PR tweet, you claim you cut off those bad influences. I thought everything you told me in those replies were all you. A week later, you quickly delete the tweet. I'll keep saying it, but it's just sad things have to be this way. We had way more than a friendship. You'll probably never see it like that, but it was. All for a cheater, which you ended up cutting ties with anyways. I started talking about like win trading, and I like saw that kind of, but I'll have like, I don't really know much about it. You are an absolute something, my guy. Well played defending him, saying all that shit for what? You switched up on me first and you're upset I'm reacting? Really willing to ruin our friendship for him, nice. Bro, frick you mean friendship? Calling me a shit friend, LMFAO. I honestly shouldn't even cover up what you called me, lol. I switched up on you because I just called out the truth. You question our friendship because you went at me first for saying stupid shit about me. I do admit we could have handled this way better, but you had Heisenberg whisper shit in your ear and you let him influence you. You could have gone to my DMs after I reported you, but no, you clearly felt some sort of way and only waited to elicit a response from me to get mad at me suddenly. People's true colors appear in moments like these. You're definitely right when people's true colors appear. We aren't even gonna talk about when I told you how I felt. You just replied with a voice note calling me a clown, deadass LMAO, and continued to curse me out and well, say, not very humbling things, to be frank. Nate is a fake ass MF. It's okay, I won't be friends with him again. He's a piece of shit. You were humble at one point. When I knew you, I didn't know it got this bad. I'm happy to see that you finally cut out those bad influences in your life, but at a cost, I guess. I wish maybe I knew so I could have talked to you more and maybe things could have been different, but in the end, God always has a plan for everyone. Apparently, you also told someone he bit the hand that fed him. That's real humble and classy from you, isn't it? You say you want to stay humble, but there are far more non-humbling things you've done that won't be revealed in this document for the sake of the other parties not wanting to be involved. Even after writing all this, why do I still believe that you can potentially change as everyone deserves a second chance or we could be friends? Again, this doesn't change that you will probably continue your Clash Royale career and be the greatest at it, but this is something you will have to live with for the rest of your career. It's just so disappointing and sad things had to end this way, but that's how life is. God has a plan for everyone, and apparently, this was it for me. To everyone who is reading this, I'm sorry for letting this happen. Just let this be the end. The truth would have eventually been exposed, anyways, but since I started it, might as well be the one to end it. Okay, now we got the appendix. Lights now deleted, PR message. Regarding the Nate situation, I'm disappointed in the way I acted and how I was talking. That is not how I am, using vulgar language like that. Of course, it does not excuse this behavior, but I've been under the influence of people whom I have now distanced myself from. With that being said, we are almost certainly not going to be friends again. Regarding allegations I've been getting, they are all fabrications and BS. The aftermath of this incident at least got me to know a lot of people's true colors, some of them being people I thought were my friends. Anyway, I will definitely learn from this and try to become a better person and always stay humble. Okay, wow, holy balls, guys. Like, that was a lot to take in. I actually don't know what to think. Like, I'm not parasocial or anything, but like, he was one of the two pros that I like watched, kind of. So I'm honestly like low key, like high key, actually disappointed. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. I mean, I got into like the Clash Royale community like a few months ago and I love the game and shit. So I didn't expect this, I'm gonna be honest. Like it's actually insane, but I guess I really shouldn't be surprised, but yeah. And for those who don't know, win trading is like when you purposely try to queue into someone to try and help them like get up, get the win. That's why it's called win trading. Although I don't know much about that situation, so I'm not gonna speak on it much, but that was something. But I don't know. I'm just disappointed basically. But yeah, I guess like now you guys also know who to support and who not to, I guess. But since like everyone else is getting like exposed, you guys can watch me and subscribe to me instead because I'm pretty chill. Anyways, if you have any thoughts, make sure to leave them because I'm disappointed and I need other people to also be disappointed with me. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe.